How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another Pokemon Scarlet and Violet VGC Regulation G session. Today we're going to be using this new team from Ansoni. It's a pretty cool Terapagos team with Suicune with Tailwind. It's got a nice Incineroar set with the Assault Vest, which is interesting. A nice fake out to Rillaboom, a Ogerpon Cornerstone, which is cool to see, and a Goldengo. I don't really see Goldengo very often in Regulation G anyway, but I'm not the most experienced Pokemon VGC player, so what can I say? But this is the team we're going to be rolling with. If you want to use it, feel free to use the code at the top right corner of the screen. I'm sure Ansoni won't mind. With that being said, let's jump straight into the first battle. And here we have our first game versus Miguel. As usual, if you do find yourself enjoying the video, feel free to subscribe for more VGC Regulation G content. Hopefully you enjoy the video. I really hope you do. Looking at the team, though, their restricted Pokemon is Rayquaza, which is really cool to see. They got a Roaring Moon, a Hatterene, Milotic, Ceruledge, and a Vivillon. Pretty interesting stuff. I feel like I'm going to get wrecked against this team because I haven't put much practice in with this team, so I'm looking at the team and I'm thinking Terapagos does put in some good work, if we can get the Ceruledge out of the way especially. So I'm thinking lead Incineroar, lead Terapagos. I'm thinking we bring Suicune because it's very bulky and could probably help against the Rayquaza. Or the no, I think Ogerpon Cornerstone for the Rayquaza for sure, because it's got that sturdy. And then we bring Suicune as well. I think Suicune would be really useful for that Ceruledge especially. But then again, we don't really have anything. Well, we do. We have the Ogerpon for the Milotic, so I think that's good to go. And the battle begins. Good luck, have fun, Miguel. So they're going to lead off with Pokevend.com and a foreign Ceruledge. So that Pokevend one is probably not legit, but it's fine. It's absolutely fine. I don't mind. It's only casual ladder after all. Rayquaza is really cool to see. It's such a daunting Pokemon, but Incineroar is out with the Intimidate, which is going to be great for the Rayquaza as long as they're not Clear Amulet, which they aren't. Terapagos is in and Terrid. I think the best thing for us to do here is to fake out the Rayquaza, and then what we can do is we can just go for an Earth Power on the Ceruledge potentially, or we can Calm Mind. I'm leaning towards Calm Minding. I think I will Calm Mind with Terapagos. So we fake out the Rayquaza, which is great. I'm going to make that thing flinch. And then Ceruledge, not sure what the Ceruledge will do. Oh wait, Ceruledge is the Pokevend one. That's interesting. I kind of thought the Rayquaza would be because it's a Rayquaza. It's harder to come by than Ceruledge's. But we go for a Calm Mind. We're going to take no damage from that Bitter Blade, which is fantastic. Terapagos is looking pretty strong right now. We just have to worry about the Rayquaza, really. I think I'm going to go for a knockoff on the Ceruledge, and then I'm going to go for a Terra Starstorm. But I'm going to Terastallize first so that it does affect the... I think that makes it affect the Ceruledge. Not too familiar with Stellar Terra, so I'm going to go for it and see how it works. I believe it hits both Pokemon if you Terra. I believe. I could be wrong. If I am wrong, then at least I've hit the Rayquaza, which is the biggest threat on the field right now. So there we go. Terra Stellar Terapagos. Looking amazing. Gotta love it. Like so. And then, of course, they go for an EQ, which is going to sting quite a bit, but not too much, as it also hurts the Ceruledge, which is amazing. And then they go for a Clear Smog to get rid of our Calm Mind, which is interesting. So Calm Mind is gone. But we do get the Terra Starstorm off, which is going to affect both Pokemon, I believe. It does affect both Pokemon, which is fantastic. As ooh, the Ceruledge just barely holds off, as we're able to go for a knockoff and finish it off the next turn. With the Incineroar, not the next turn, but the next part of the turn that we're on. In comes Vivilo 1, which I'm assuming is the Vivillon, which it is. We are looking a bit, susceptible right now. Let's go for a Flare Blitz on the Vivillon, and then we'll go for another Terra Starstorm on the Rayquaza and the Vivillon as well. We'll just start spamming Meteors at this thing pretty much. The Rayquaza is going to go for a Dragon Ascent, which is going to sting my Incineroar a little bit, but not too much. Able to take it like a chance, lowering the defense of the Rayquaza as well in the process. And then they go for a Hurricane with the Vivillon, and they do unfortunately miss. Now, Vivillon gets Compound Eyes, which means that was a higher accuracy Hurricane than usual, and it still missed. It's really unfortunate for them. But this Terra Starstorm is going to come through now, take out the Rayquaza and the Vivillon in one shot, which is absolutely fantastic, as down it goes. And down goes the Rayquaza as well. That's awesome. In comes the Hatterene. So Hatterene is the last Pokemon. That's interesting. So this could play out pretty interestingly for us. I'm going to knock off its item with Incineroar, and I'm going to go for a Terra Starstorm on the Hatterene. It should do a lot of damage because it's a spread move being concentrated into one Pokemon. So they're going to terastallize their Hatterene. What are they going to terastallize into? Is it going to be Steel? If it's Steel, that's going to be interesting. So they are Terra Steel. Okay, so Steel Hatterene is on the field. Terra Starstorm's not going to do nearly as much damage because it's not a first turn Terra Stella. I believe that's how it works. I could be wrong. This could still do some decent damage. So let's see how much Terra Starstorm does first. As it does a solid... Oh! Super effective. One-shots the Hatterene. I really don't know how Stellar Terra works, but I still won, so hey ho, here we go. On to the next game. And the next game is here against Pablo. They've got a pretty cool Terapagos team of their own, with Grimmsnarl for, I'm assuming, screen support, Titan with the Alolan Ninetales combination, pretty cool stuff, Amoonguss and Cresselia, so maybe some Trick Room shenanigans just in case they can't get the snow up for Titan. Pretty awesome stuff if I do say so myself. So I think they'll look at my team, and I think we bring our Suicune as a lead. And then we also bring our... I think Rillaboom will be useful for getting some priority on the Titan. I think priority in general is going to be really useful this game. So I'm going to bring Rillaboom. And then I'm going to bring Incineroar to bring in afterwards for the Intimidate on the likes of the Grimmsnarl and the Titan. And then obviously I'm going to bring Terapagos because it just does really well against pretty much every team. And the battle begins. Good luck, have fun, Pablo. So they're going to lead off with Ninetales and Titan. Pretty interesting stuff as we lead off with Suicune and Rillaboom. So they get the snow warning off straight away, which is fine. We get the Grassy Surge up, which is going to lower an Earthquake damage if they have Earthquake on the Titan. And what we can do is we can go for a Tailwind to try and negate the Slush Rush on the Titan. So I'm going to do that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm also going to fake out the Alolan Ninetales so that it can't set up the Aurora Veil, which would be very frustrating if it did do that. So we go for the fake out on the Alolan Ninetales, stopping it from going for anything. They do go for a Belly Drum with the Titan, which is terrifying in its own right. But we have... Oh, wait, they don't flinch? Why didn't they flinch? Is there an item that I'm not thinking of that they might have? Aurora Veil is now up, which is very worrying. We have got the Tailwind up, so we should be alright still. Why didn't they flinch though? That's the real question. Is there something I should know? Is there an item I don't know about that stops you from getting flinched? Like, what is it that I'm thinking of? I don't know. I'm going to go for a Woodhammer Scold combination on the Titan just because it's got a Belly Drum up and it's obviously a big threat right now. We don't want that on the field, and that's a very loud cry as well from Titan. So we go for a Scold. We do outspeed. Are we going to get the burn though? That'd be great if we could. We do get the burn, which is fantastic. It's still at +4 attack, but we do get the Woodhammer off the next turn as well, which should nearly get the KO, which is fantastic. As now they go for a Stomping Tantrum on the Rillaboom, doing no damage. And then the Ninetales goes for a Nasty Plot, which is terrifying. So that thing is going to start spamming Blizzard Doors and Moonblasts at my Suicune. So obviously they're going to get some health back from the grassy terrain, but the burn is going to whittle them down. And the next turn, Suicune should be able to do some good work with the Snarl here. So I'm going to go for the Snarl. It'll take out the Titan, and it'll also lower the special attack of the Ninetales. I'm going to go for a Woodhammer on the Ninetales. That should do the trick. So we go for the Snarl. It takes out the Titan, which is great. It lowers the special attack of the Ninetales, or at least it will be doing in a second. Hopefully, unless they have... Oh, no, wait. No, they must have... What's that item? It's called... is it Covert Cloak? Stops you from... It must stop you from flinching as well. Stops you from lowering special attack from moves. Stuff like that. But Rillaboom's going to go down as the Snarl obviously fails to take down the special attack. So I learned something new today. I didn't realize Covert Cloak did that. I thought... I always just assumed it was for, like, secondary effects like Infestation... you know, Salt Cure, stuff like that. I didn't realize it was for this. So anyway, Incineroar can easily come in here and threaten this Ninetales. I think a Tiger threatens a Fox easily. So let's see how this plays out for them. So they go into Cresselia. So Cresselia is obviously a big problem for us, especially considering they've got screens up. We do get the Intimidate off, not that it really matters unless they're physical. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for a Helping Hand on the Incineroar, and then I'm going to go for a Flare Blitz on the Ninetales, because Aurora Veil plus Snow means this Ninetales has got pretty high defenses right now, and I don't think Flare Blitz will KO. So Helping Hand is going to come through. We're going to clap away for the Incineroar, and then we'll go straight for a Flare Blitz. They do go for an Ally Switch, which is very interesting. Wasn't expecting that, as Flare Blitz is going to come through and hit the Cresselia for some decent damage still, which is fantastic. Now, Ally Switch cannot be used. Well, the more you use it, the more chance it has to fail. So we've got to keep that in mind. So we're going to get some health back on the Suicune and the Incineroar with the grassy terrain. That's also going to go into effect for the Ninetales. Less so for the Cresselia because of its Levitate ability. And then what we'll do is, because we know the Cresselia probably won't risk another Ally Switch, we'll just go ahead and go for another Tailwind for a start. And then we'll go for a Flare Blitz on the Ninetales once again. Once again, we'll go for the Flare Blitz on the Ninetales. And this time they won't Ally Switch, I'm sure. So they go for another nasty plot with the Ninetales, which is interesting. Are they going to try and Ally Switch again with Cresselia? I don't think they will, as we get the Tailwind up with Suicune, which is fantastic. And now we're going to slam that Ninetales in the face with a Flare Blitz from Incineroar, which should do a lot of damage as it does, which is fantastic. So what we're going to do this next turn is they go for a Trick Room. Okay. Trick Room is definitely going to benefit them with our Tailwind up, that's for sure. The snow does stop though, so they lose that defense boost on the Ninetales, which is great. The Ninetales is at +4 special attack right now though, so we have to be very wary of it. Especially with our Suicune being susceptible to the Moonblast now. So the Aurora Veil does wear off, but so is the snow. The grass disappears. We're on a clean battlefield other than the Trick Room. So let's see how this plays out. So let's go for a Snarl. We'll go for a Snarl first, and then we'll go for a knockoff on the Ninetales. And the reason I'm going for a knockoff is because I feel like they're going to Ally Switch once again, and I want to hit that Cresselia for good damage. So Cresselia goes for a Lunar Blessing. Is that like Life Dew? I think it is like Life Dew, isn't it? It's going to heal the Cresselia, it's going to heal the Ninetales. We should have gone for a Flare Blitz, as they go for a Dazzling Gleam, which is going to do a lot of damage, but not quite enough damage to warrant any sort of worry. It turns out they don't have Moonblast at all, which would have been much better for the Suicune. We go for a knockoff on the Ninetales. It's going to knock off whatever item they had. They had a Covert Cloak. And then we're going to be able to go for a Snarl and lower its special attack. We knew it had the Covert Cloak. I don't know why I acted surprised there, but hey ho, we lower the special attack over the Ninetales now that it's gone, which is fantastic. So, if they're going to go for a Lunar Blessing again with Cresselia, which I feel like they may do, we should go for a Snarl again, and then we should go for a Flare Blitz on the Ninetales, right? Yeah, I'm going to go for a Flare Blitz on the Ninetales, I think. I don't think they'll Ally Switch. I think they do Lunar Blessing here. So they do go for an Ally Switch, which is interesting. So Ally Switch comes through. Luckily for us, Flare Blitz should still do a decent bit of damage to the Cresselia. As there we go, Flare Blitz comes through. A decent bit of damage to the Cresselia is great. So that's always nice and powerful. So Incineroar goes down to the recoil from Flare Blitz, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. And then we're able to go for a Snarl with Suicune. Ninetales avoids it. Cresselia takes the full brunt of it, lowering its special attack even further. And then all we need to do now is go Terapagos, Terra Starstorm, and kind of go from there. So let's go into Terapagos real quick. And Terapagos should be able to clean up game mode a little bit here. And we'll just have to see how it plays out. So we're going to Terra Shift into our turtle form. Well, I mean, it's already a turtle. Into our big turtle form. And then we'll go for a Helping Hand on the Terapagos. Then we'll go for a Terra Starstorm after Terrestrialization on the Cresselia. Doesn't matter if the Ally Switch, doesn't matter if the Lunar Blessing, should still take out both the Pokemon. So there we go, going to Terrestrialize our Terapagos. Terapagos comes in clutch here, I think. I hope we can still pull this back. They still have their Terapagos, which we have to worry about, so that's always something. But I don't think we do have to worry too much about it. And we should be alright as we go for the Helping Hand. There we go, boosting the power of Terra Starstorm. And then we fire off. They go for a Lunar Blessing, which is, of course, going to heal the Cresselia and the Ninetales for a nice bit of health. But I feel like we're alright. They go for a Dazzling Gleam. Terapagos' ability is obviously going to prevent that from doing too much damage. And then we just go for a Terra Starstorm the next turn, which I think still gets boosted from Helping Hand, even though the Suicune was taken out. I could be wrong there. But either way, Ninetales and Cresselia are nearly out. Ninetales is out. Cresselia is nearly out. Very nearly. As I believe the Trick Room wears off this turn. I could be wrong. I might have miscounted that. Terapagos comes in. Their own Terapagos comes in. Now, I don't think they Terra here. I think they don't Terra so they get their ability. Is it called Terra Shell or something like that? I think they stay in so they can get that ability off. So we'll go for a Terra Starstorm once again, just in case they go for an ally switch. I don't want to gang up on anything with Terapagos whilst they have an ally switcher on the field. So they are going to Calm Mind with their Terapagos. They are outspeed, which means it is slower than us. Because obviously Trick Room's up still. It doesn't wear off this turn, I was wrong. They go for a Lunar Blessing, which is going to recover some of their HP for the Cresselia. It's less so for the Terapagos. As we go for a Terra Starstorm, which is now going to be weakened by Terra Shell on the Terapagos. But we should be alright, as it should still do a decent chunk of damage to the Cresselia. Doesn't quite get the KO on the Cresselia, which is unfortunate. But I believe Trick Room does wear off this next turn, so we should be alright. There we go. The Twisted Dimensions do return to normal, so we can go straight for a Terra Starstorm once again with no repercussions. They can't go for a Lunar Blessing. They won't outspeed us, which means we can freely go for the Terra Starstorm. So they're going to now Terrastalize their Terapagos, which means it's going to be, it's going to hit pretty hard with its Terra Starstorm of its own, especially after a Calm Mind. We may lose this to their Terapagos. It depends how much damage we do with this initial one against their Terrastalized form. But we go first, obviously, because we know we're faster, thanks to the Trick Room proving that. Terra Starstorm does take out the Cresselia and does a decent chunk of damage to the Terapagos. Now that it's one-on-one, the damage is going to be focused, which means their Terra Starstorm may just KO us here, thanks to their Calm Mind boost. So let's see how much damage it does first. Does KO us. It's super effective, obviously, for the first turn. And that is going to be the game. So GG Pablo, that was a really fun one. I enjoyed that thoroughly. It's a learning experience. Terapagos still popped off regardless of who won. So that's always fun. Okay, the next battle is here against Kota, and they've got a pretty cool Kyogre team with Tornadus. They've got Sceptile, which is really cool. Iron Valiant, which is cool. Oranguru, which is interesting. That's going to have some instructabilities going on with the Kyogre, I'm assuming. And Incineroar. So if we assume they're going to lead off with the Kyogre, we should lead off with Rillaboom. I'm also thinking lead off with Suicune to counteract their Tornadus' Tailwind if they do go for it. I don't think Incineroar is a good Pokemon to bring here, but I am going to bring Terapagos. And then I'm also leaning towards Ogerpon for that Sturdy. It'd be pretty useful to have that. But I don't want to... I think Ogerpon's probably better than Incineroar or Goldengo, so that's what I'm going to bring. Alright, good luck, have fun, Kota. So they're going to lead off with Green Leaf, the Treasured Memory, and Kyogre. So pretty cool lead off. Interesting to see Sceptile in VGC. I'm curious to see what it's going to do here. Maybe it counteracts our grassy terrain by going for a Grassy Glide of its own. I don't know. I'm going to fake out the Sceptile because I feel like the Kyogre protects, expecting a Grassy Glide or a Wood Hammer. And then I'm going to set up the Tailwind with my Suicune. I think that is the way to go here. So they go for an upper hand, blocking our fake out and flinching us in return. I had no idea Sceptile even got upper hand. But the Ice Beam comes through, which is unfortunate. We do get some Figgy Berry damage recovery, which is always nice. And then we're going to get a Tailwind off with Suicune. So now we don't even need to go for a Grassy Glide on the Kyogre. We can just go straight for a Wood Hammer. They might be thinking we go for a Grassy Glide, so they might try and block it with the Sceptile. So I'm going to go for a Wood Hammer here. And then I'm going to go for a Snarl with the Suicune, just to lower the special attack of those two Pokemon. They do withdraw the Kyogre here. What are they going to go into? They go into Ember. That's probably the Fire type, which is, of course, the Incineroar. And they're going to get an Intimidate off, which is unfortunate. The Intimidate is going to affect Rillaboom quite a bit. But we do have Inner Focus on the Suicune, which means we can't get flinched as well. We go for a Snarl. Does some decent damage to the Sceptile. Gets a critical hit on the Incineroar. Lowers the special attack of both of them. Not that I think it matters, because that Sceptile looks physical. And then we go for a Wood Hammer on the Incineroar, which does no damage, of course. But we do get some recoil, so that's unfortunate. So they go for an Energy Ball now on the Suicune after their lowered special attack. But they do lower our special defense, so that kind of counteracts that. So that's unfortunate. But we do pop a berry, which is great. And the Citrus Berry coming in clutch there. Now the next turn I'm thinking, what do we do against this Sceptile? Because this Sceptile is becoming a problem. I'm leaning towards Wood Hammering the Sceptile and then Scalding the Incineroar. That's what I'm leaning towards. Or ganging up on the Incineroar by going for high horsepower. But I feel like we go for a Wood Hammer on the Sceptile and we go for a Scald on the Incineroar right now. That's what I feel like doing. as the Incineroar does go for a fake out, which means no damage on the Sceptile, but we do get some damage off on the Incineroar, which is always nice. And then the Energy Ball does come through from the Sceptile the next turn to take out our Suicune. There we go. So Suicune goes down. I knew that KO. I was hoping it wouldn't, but here we are. Here we are. So what do we do here? Do we go all in with the Terapagos? I'm leaning towards the Terapagos. But I'm also leaning toward Ogerpon with Ivy Cudgel. I think that could be really useful. So I think I will go Ogerpon first. So we'll bring in Anya, the reliable partner. And then what we'll do is we'll go for a high horsepower on the Emboar. No. We go for a Wood Hammer on the Sceptile. And then we go for an Ivy Cudgel on the Incineroar. I think that's the way to go. So Ivy Cudgel comes through. That should cleanly take out the Incineroar as it does, which is fantastic. Down it goes. So we're making good progress. We may not win this one, but we will do a lot of damage as Wood Hammer now comes through. Boosted by Grassy Terrain. It should do a decent chunk of damage as it does. We get some recoil, but it's not the end of the world. As they now go for a Shed Tail with Sceptile. So lowering it. I forgot Sceptile even got Shed Tail. That's really cool. Sceptile being in this format is really neat. Like I said, I completely forgot it got Shed Tail. Because I'm used to playing 6v6 Smogon where it's banned. In comes Legends the Champion, the Kyogre, behind a Substitute. That is a problem right there. And our Tailwind has just petted out, so we have to worry about that now. As in comes Greenleaf, the Treasured Memory, the Sceptile. This time, they probably expect us to go for a Grassy Glide on the Kyogre, which means they're probably going to Wood Hammer us. They're probably going to go for an upper hand. So I'm going to Wood Hammer the Greenleaf, and then I'm going to Spiky Shield with my Ogerpon just to block an incoming attack. As the Kyogre does go for something here, it's going to Terrastallize. What type is it going to go into? Maybe Water? For that extra Water Spout damage in the rain? Terra Water it is. So Terra Water Kyogre is obviously a threat. We know that for a fact. But let's see how this plays out first. So are they going to go for a Water Spout? Probably. We go for the Spiky Shield, protecting ourselves. They go for an upper hand, expecting a Grassy Glide. They go for a Water Spout with the Kyogre, but it's going to be bounced off our Ogerpon thanks to Spiky Shield. But I don't think Rillaboom can take a Water Spout after Terra Water in the rain. No, it cannot. There's no way it was taking that, unfortunately. So that is unfortunate, but it is what it is. Now we've got to worry about Terapagos. So we obviously Terra our Terapagos. No, we don't obviously Terra our Terapagos. I don't think we do. That's for sure. I don't think we Terra our Terapagos. So I'm going to go into it. Because we've got that Terra Shell ability. Which is obviously going to make it so the first move that attacks us will be not very effective. So we want that on the Water Spout, that's for sure. Do we Terra Starstorm the Sceptile, or do we gang up on the Kyogre? I'm leaning towards the Kyogre. I think I will go Kyogre, because obviously Horn Leech is going to break the Substitute first. So let's go for that. They go for a Water Spout. Obviously Terra Shell is going to block that, making it not very effective. But Ogerpon, unfortunately, is going to go down to its sturdy from this, no doubt. As it is going to take us cleanly down to 1 HP with the Terra... Oh, that did so much damage even to my Terapagos. They get a critical hit on the Ogerpon. I'd rather it be the critical hit on the Ogerpon than the Terapagos. As they go for an Energy Ball now, they outspeed Ogerpon and they take us out. So that is unfortunate. But it is what it is. As now Terapagos is going to go for a Terra Starstorm, which should take out this Substitute, I hope. I hope. Please? Substitute fades. Great. So there we go. Doesn't do any damage to it, so that Water Spout is still going to be full power. But I guess all I can really do here is go for the Terra Starstorm with Terrestrialization. Just to get as much damage off as I can and hope that I can live an Energy Ball Water Spout combination, which I don't think I can. I really don't think I can, but I'm going to try it anyway. We're going to try it anyway. This may have not been the most successful session, but I've had a lot of fun with this one. That first game was really cool. We managed to pull a W with Terapagos. And this game, Kyogre really popped off with its water spout and the shed tail shenanigans and really cool stuff. That water spout definitely KOs us, and then the energy ball the energy ball KOs us. There we go. So there we go. Down goes Terapagos. That's going to be the game. We did leave we live the water spout, which is cool. That's always fun. But other than that, you know, it's whatever. So GG Kota, that was a fun one. I enjoyed that. I learned a lot.